All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our first review for the final season, Season 8, for Fear the Walking Dead. Alright dudes, and possible spoiler warning if you have not seen this episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, and this is going to be the final season for Fear the Walking Dead. If you guys are not aware, AMC has officially announced that this is the final season for Fear. So with the original series wrapping up, they're going to go ahead and wrap up Fear the Walking Dead this year. So I think they're doing 6 episodes, then there's a break, and then they're going to come back with the rest of the season. If that's another 6 episodes, making it a 12-episode final season, that may be the case. I'm not sure if we're going to review all the episodes. Kind of depends on how they are. I've seen the ratings for this episode. This first one, I think it's around like 500,000 US viewers, something like that, for the episode for the Season 8 premiere for Fear. Not very surprising. It's sort of been trending like that. And so it's not surprising that the series has been given an end date, that they've decided to that they're going to be wrapping it up. Also, AMC's doing all these spin-offs. There's the Rick and Michonne spin-off, there's Dead City, there's the Daryl spin-off series, and then there's also Tales of the Walking Dead Season 2, or they might rename it and relaunch it as a new kind of episodic tale type series where you get different survivors per episode and all that. So lots of stuff going on for Walking Dead. This one here, now that the original series is over, let's see what we have for the Season 8 premiere. So this episode is called Remember What They Took From You. I felt like Season 7 wrapped up in a pretty good fashion. I thought that Madison coming back was an interesting choice. No one's gone till they're gone, so it was good to see Kim Dickens return as Madison in the series. Get to see her with Morgan a little bit. That was something we never got to see earlier on. They didn't get to really meet or anything, so I really enjoyed the Season 7 finale. I thought it was great, the last 2 episodes, especially Alicia's final episode and Madison's return. Very good way to wrap up Season 7. Season 8's premiere, we haven't had Walking Dead for a while now. It's been since the finale. This, aside from the shutdown year, I think this is the longest time we've gone without like a new Walking Dead, like episode, right? Be it Fear, the original series, or whatever. Quite a while for this break. And coming back from it, I felt like this was just an okay premiere episode for Season 8. It actually was not as good as I thought it probably would be. I thought it was really an odd episode. It was really strange. And like I said, spoilers. Basically what you have is you have this new community, Padre, which has a really cool introduction. It's cool to see with Madison and everything. They've got some cool sort of, MK Ultra mind control type vibes going about them of what they do with their, workers who go out and they basically, like collectors, they go out and they collect people for Padre, namely usually young people, and bring them back, or even may steal kids and bring them back to Padre to get that next generation going for the future, on what seems to be like an island where, it looks like a pretty good location. They've got like this island, I think it's in like Louisiana, got some of the swamps and stuff like that, so there's, there's that. So they've been basically taking kids and bringing them to the island and that kind of thing. And Mo is one of the ones that they take. And we get to see a time skip of, I think it's supposed to be 7 years in between, kind of like where we left off in this one. So Mo has kind of come of age a bit. She's at least to the point, or is it she or he? I thought Mo was a male, but after watching this, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, whatever the case may be. Ren/Mo is in this episode. She gets reunited with Morgan and Grace in this one, which you would think would be sort of like an escape thing where Madison and her escape Padre together, and they run into Morgan, and they run into Grace, her parents, I suppose, or his parents, whatever. And you'd think that would be like a really happy reuniting type of thing to get to see in this episode. But it's oddly strange that Morgan and Grace just basically tell Mo to go back to Padre because it's safer there. And they're struggling too much to survive kind of on their own in the wild, which is a really weird spot to see them in. I did like in this one that they sort of teased the idea that Morgan was going back into his clear state a little bit, which I thought was pretty cool. He had some writings that he had written on the wall in his like a cabin or whatever he was in there on the water. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was some good stuff. Madison, this one I thought was good. I love the sledgehammer and all that. It's good stuff. I like what they've done with her, bringing her back and everything. I think it's great, and will at least give us some good characters to focus on for the finale. Now, some of the things about the episode I didn't like that much. Mo coming of age, I thought was just like all right. It wasn't as good as I thought it probably should be, because it's probably a good idea to see come of age and then time skip. And Dead City's doing it with Herschel, for example. You get a time skip, he's more of age, and that'll be fun to see. In this one, though, with this time skip and everything, it just, I don't know, it didn't do that much for me. It didn't do a lot, and it just felt a little bit flat. So you have that. Padre looks like a pretty cool community. I like the environments. The swamps look really cool. The walkers are all really sweet. Having Madison back, I think is great for Fear, because you kind of need that. I feel like, especially with Alicia having gone, leaving the series, you're really going to need somebody to kind of add in there to really, make it feel like it's still Fear the Walking Dead, but also just to fill out the roster a bit, because it's hard for Morgan and Dwight and the others to do it by themselves. Strand is not really that type of character, I feel like, to be at that forefront. Maybe as a villain, but probably not as a hero type of role. So it's good to have Madison back. I thought she was great in this episode, and awesome in the finale for last season, just to see her back. So it's really great, but it's just an okay episode. King County, pretty cool. Some mentions of that. We know that he's going to be returning to that later on. There's a mention of Strand and the others in this one, but they're kind of gone. And again, I think what they've done with Fear the Walking Dead, in order to get a few more seasons out of it, it feels like to me they've made the episodes like focused episodes, to where like you only get to see certain characters per episode. So in any given episode for these last couple seasons, I think they started this at around season 6, although season 6 was awesome. Fear the Walking Dead, that was fantastic. But season 7, it just felt like what they were doing is they were sectioning the characters off, and then they were really focusing down on, just a few per episode. And I got that sense with this premiere as well here too, is where it's like you get Morgan, you get Madison. Maybe Madison's kind of the forefront with Mo, but Mo is like a new character anyway, sort of. Although, a forefront character because of who Mo is and everything. And having been there for a little while now, a couple seasons now. But you just get them, and then Grace is in a little bit. And that's basically it. The villains are kind of so-so. I wouldn't say they're anything to write home about so far. And this is the one thing with Fear the Walking Dead. I think that they did this in order to keep the show going for a while longer, which is they don't put too many of their core cast in it, right? Like each episode you watch through, you get like a couple of the main, Fear survivor characters per episode. But you get like character-centered, focused episodes, which sometimes they've done a really great job sometimes of making those episodes really good, where you focus down on certain characters and it's really great. But obviously, if you can have a lot of your cast in your bigger roster in an episode, it definitely makes it easier to have fun with the episode, really make it great, right? It's easier to do if you've got more of your original cast roster in an episode. It'd be like an episode of the original Walking Dead series, like Them or something, where you've got like Rick, Daryl, Carol, everybody's in it, Maggie's in it, everybody's in the episode, and versus like a bottle episode where it's like a mid-season episode, not a finale, not a premiere, and you kind of have as like a spacer episode or something where you just got a couple survivors in it. The last few years with Fear, it feels like they've been doing that a lot. And I think it's budgetary, I'm sure, to save money, because the viewership is not quite there the way it used to be. So this is, in my mind, it's like a cost-saving measure to have just like a couple of the key characters. Like in this one, as far as the OGs go, who do you get in this premiere episode? It's a premiere for the final season. You get Madison, you get Morgan, and you get, do we count Mo? Not really, because it's like a new appearance, right? So I wouldn't put Mo over at that level at this age. It's like a new thing. And then Grace. So you basically have Madison, Morgan, and Grace, instead of like Dwight and every Sherry and every the whole roster in it. So it's got to be, in my mind, it has to be a cost-saving measure to keep the roster small per episode. They've been doing it for a while, and I think they've done a great job with some of the episodes with writing to make it interesting still, but this one just didn't really do it for me that much. I thought it was just, a mediocre premiere. I'm just going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, which is like a very average rating, not because of anything to do with Madison. It was more just to see, like, they escape the place, and then they tell her to kind of go back. So she kind of goes right back, and it's sort of like, that's kind of weird. So I don't know. It just didn't really feel that. I mean, I guess in a way it like makes sense because they're like, no, we haven't been able to. We want to keep her safe, so have her go back or whatever. It's like, okay, I guess that's all right, but I don't know. It just was weird. Typically, you would look for just to see, maybe it's like a little pretentious or a little bit over the top. It's like, you escape this place. It's a bit tyrannical. It's a bit like, mind control, collector stuff, communistic. If you get your freedom, you take your freedom, go. But they force her to go back. So I don't know. That's my score for it, 6.5 out of 10. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. We'll see what they've got, but it's only 11 episodes to wrap up the series, so it'll be great to see Morgan return to King County. It'll be cool to see some more episodes of Madison before the series wraps up, because now that we know it's going to be ending pretty soon. And, that's pretty much all I got to say for this review. It wasn't a great premiere. I thought that the finish off for Season 7 was better, and it was just okay. So that's where I'm at with this one. It was just an okay premiere. Not great, not anything to write home about. And I hope that Fear the Walking Dead can end off this season, can end off its final season with some good episodes that are memorable. This one I would not say is memorable. It's kind of, like they do all this thing to get out and then they just go back. It's sort of like kind of undoes itself as you go. It kind of feels like spinning your tires a bit on Walker Guts. Thumbs up below, share, favorite, subscribe at the bottom. We'll see you again soon for another. This is Travis saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.